The views, information, or opinions expressed during this show are solely those of the individuals presenting them and do not necessarily represent those of That Fuzzing Rock Show or its creators and writers. Cancel context, not humor. Enjoy the show. All right, folks, welcome to another Thursday evening edition of That Fuzzing Rock Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, degenerates of all ages, here we are gathered once again Thursday evening for me to annoy you for about an hour. So, you know what? Strap in because you're kind of trapped. You're stuck here. So, oh man. So, folks, let me tell you, I'm going to start off right now, and I told the guests of this evening the same thing. I just started a bunch of medication, and it's all legal stuff, so don't really do much into it. Little loopy tonight. If I fade off or I start looking at shiny things to the right, left, or straight up and down, hopefully I'll snap out of it in time for you guys to in time to hit the closing credits for this thing. But listen, guys, we got Psychomanteum here tonight. Matt and Brian are here to hang out, and we're going to talk about their new album, which drops tomorrow. And remember, it is it Bandcamp Friday tomorrow? What's the date today? No, that would have been, damn it. We missed it by a week. But listen, it's going to drop tomorrow. This thing's a freaking banger. But we'll get into all that. They also have a show on the 27th at the Strand in Hudson Falls. Again, that's going to be another great show. They're with a band called Sin, 9 Inch Nails tribute. It's going to be killer. So, and those tickets are real on brown paper tickets and probably the Strand box office too. But again, we will get into all that once we bring the boys in and start hanging out. We do have to cover some show business, of course, as we always do. And we're going to talk first about the best sponsors a show could ever ask for, and that is Helderberg Meadworks, guys. 2 locations, Esperance and Troy. Now, like I said, I haven't been to the Troy one yet, but the Esperance one, that place has got a vibe, man. It is awesome. You have to go up there and experience it for yourself. They have a boat that is an actual scale Viking boat. It was made to specs of an actual Viking boat. It's awesome. Go check it out. And when you go up to the bar, all right, not only do they have the Blood of the Wasted, which is the erotics mead, they also have Pillage, which is the brick by brick mead. Both good. They invented something called the Fuzz Buzz, and it is on both in both locations. It's on the menu in both locations. You got to give it a try. It's got a mix of Pillage, Blood of the Wasted, and there's like soda in there and some other magical ingredients, but it's really, really good. You guys got to go try it. I got to take a drink, guys. Sorry about that. Way to be unprofessional, Fuzz. See what happens when I don't have Ralph here? Everything falls apart. But you know what I do have, guys? I do have Kevin Stonepick. Now, Kevin Stonepick is going to be a big part of this show. He's like my sidekick. Like, he sits right next to me on the desk. But him and I are going to go start doing some cool stuff this when the weather breaks. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Some inside stuff for the cold weather seasons. But Kevin Stonepick and I are going to hang out in certain locations around the area. We may go to a show. We may go out and have dinner somewhere. We may just, I don't know, we'll find spots to hang out, and you guys will be able to see that. So, but again, back to Helderberg Meadworks, best sponsors ever, guys. We appreciate you, and please, guys, make sure you are taking care of our sponsors. Go up to the Esperance location, go to the Troy location, have a couple drinks, tell them Fuzz sent you, and try the Fuzz Buzz. It's pretty goddamn good. King's Inn, January 20th, 6 to 9 p.m. The Tradition. And this is going to be a good one because Nick Stamos is sitting in it. Not that any of the other Tradition shows aren't good, but Nick Stamos is sitting in on this one, and I will be the guest bartender at the King's Inn. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys got to come up and hang out. It is 6 McDonald Ave, Schenectady, New York. It's a great little hometown bar. It's a good hang. And the only bad part about it is one of the bartenders there. Her name is Cassidy. Can't stand her. Make sure you tell her that that Fuzz don't like her. But no, Cass and I are going to be I'm going to be guest bartending with Cass that night. Traditionally playing. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be yeah, come on out, man. Good music, good drinks, and good time. So let's see you guys all there at the King's Inn, January 20th. It's a Friday night. Come hang out 6 to 9, and we're going to have a lot of fun. 6 to 9. Yeah, 3 hours. That's right. I'm going to tell you guys a little about a little tattoo shop down in Albany. It's called Bloom in Gloom Tattoo. My friend Juliet owns it down there. It's a great little spot. It's new, just opened up a little while ago. If you guys are looking to get a tattoo, Juliet's very, very talented, and she's very easy to work with. So make sure you're checking that out, guys. It's JulietTattoos.com, or you can check out Instagram at Gouliette. That's GHOULIETTE. See what I did there? That's right. And she's on Facebook, so you guys will be able to find her. Just look up Blooming Gloom Tattoo. You guys will find it right away. If you guys are looking for us on social media, here we go. You guys ready? Get a pen. Or you guys, if you're sitting in front of a computer, open up a new window. How's that sound? Facebook.com/ThatFuzzingRockShow. YouTube.com/ThatFuzzingRockShow. Instagram @ThatFuzzingRockShow. TikTok @ThatFuzzingRockShow. Just if you wouldn't mind, we definitely appreciate you guys going there, liking, sharing, subscribing, ring the little bell, and sharing's the biggest thing, guys. We dig the likes and stuff like that. We definitely dig the follows and the subscribes, but the sharing's where it's at. We grow our community nice and big that way. So make sure you're just sharing this with your friends, which is pretty cool. All right. Oh, you know what? We have a website too. I can forget about the goddamn website. All right. It is thatfuzzingrockshow.com. Easy enough. And all the links are there, which is the best part. So click, goes right to it. Subscribe, go back to the website, click, follow the page. It's easy. So, all right. I'll stop boring you guys with all the corporate crap, quote unquote corporate crap. Got two gentlemen who are just itching to get in here and talk to you guys about their new stuff. And I'm itching to hear about it, to tell you the truth, because I did get a chance to hear some of it, and you guys are not going to be disappointed. So please welcome to the show, Matt and Brian from Psychomanteum. Boys.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. We're going to talk about the new album. We're going to talk about the show at the Strand, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll get to the new album, and we'll get to the Strand show in just a little bit. Let's get to know you guys a little bit. Let's start off let's go to the beginning. How did you guys form the band Psychomanteum?
So Pete, the drummer, Pete Von Statina, and I were in a band called Black Iron Prison for about 9 years together. Mm-hmm. And we used to have Elijah Hargrave. I don't know if you ever knew him. He was the singer, and he was in Skeletons in the piano as well.
Okay.
And then that band kind of ended in 2015, and Pete and I took a little bit of a break, and then we decided to start jamming again. I had some ideas, and the original idea was to have a bunch of guest singers on it. Mm-hmm. And well, Matt's a rarity in that he's pretty easy to deal with, but scheduling, like, imagine dealing with 5 lead singers.
Yeah.
Trying to wrangle them for an album. We quickly realized like that wasn't going to happen. So we first ended up working with Rich Van Eggen from Purifier, mm-hmm. and Catheter from back in the day.
Sure.
And then he wasn't available for a little while, so we started thinking, well, it might be nice to have 2 singers maybe we can juggle 2, not 5, you know. And Matt was available because I believe Hungry Jack was taking a break at that point, right?
Yeah, kind of had ran its course.
Yeah. We had the bass player from used to be in Gunther Weasel at the time. So this band was like had a lot more members than it does now. Now we're down to 3. But that took some time. Steve Bennett played bass for us from Dirt Church for a time, and he's actually on the album on Toxic Rays of Dawn. And Rich is on one of the songs, but he did contribute lyrics to a couple that we kept, and we give him props for that. So anyways, we've been writing songs since basically 2017, and then the pandemic hit, of course, and we're like, shit, okay, now what? We had like maybe 2 or 3 shows under our belt before that hit. So we basically just hunkered down, and like I learned more about how to record, and we ended up like this album is self-released and self-recorded. So I learned a lot about that. So we made use of our time pretty well, but now we're ready to hit the ground running here.
Yeah.
So how'd the pandemic work out for you guys? I mean, were you guys able to get together and jam and practice and be able to record, or did you guys do it from separate locations?
Man, I looked into that but the latency of like doing remote practice, there just isn't a very good system for that. So we did have in person for a while, but then, when it got really bad, we had to think about our families. Matt and I have kids, so we just had to be like, listen, we just can't do this for a couple months. But unlike a lot of bands that I've been in and have seen, like when there's not practice, we still get shit done. We don't let time go by without stuff happening. So it was still productive.
Always writing.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, we're pretty prolific that way. Matt certainly with lyrics, So yeah, it ended up being okay, and that's why we're able to kind of shoot out of this with an album, and we're able to do shows.
Shantae, thank you for the stars. Jessica, good evening. Sorry, I got the chat going over here. They're chiming in. All right, let me ask you this: Psychomanteum. How did you guys come up with the name Psychomanteum?
Band names I'm usually pretty terrible at picking things like that, but I just kind of did random searches for things. Psychomanteum as a concept I thought was pretty awesome. And this is before we really knew what we were going to be. We named the band Psychomanteum. Pete and I believe, like pretty early, we had that picked out. And the concept for it is basically converge, like mirrors facing each other in order to conjure the dead. It is the idea.
So let's talk about the other member of the band. I have members written down. The other member of the band. Who's the other member of the band? We'll give him some props.
Yeah, Pete Von Stetina. He's the best musician in the band. He's a freaking crazy drummer.
He's a machine.
I mean, unbelievable. Yeah. And the thing is, he doesn't even have a drum set at home, so he just shows up and plays. Like when we had months off not practicing, he wasn't practicing drums, and then he just rolled in and nailed the songs. He's unbelievable. He used to play for Joey Belladonna's solo band when he split off from Anthrax.
Okay. Yep.
So he's got chops, obviously. But yeah, he's probably the most amazing natural musician I've ever played with.
Yeah, it's.
And he's really, really funny.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's a nice guy. And he shows up, which isn't always the case with drummers. So.
Right. So 2022, Best Metal Band at the Listen Up Awards. Yeah. Congrats for that, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, that's that's saying something, man. That's saying a lot. Were you guys kind of blown away that you got that, or like?
Completely. That was one of those things where we really had absolutely nothing to do with it. We were nominated by the public, and the public were the ones who voted on it. So it's like, I'm like, it's cool that we were even grouped in with these bands and being nominated. I'm like, that's awesome, but no, no chance at all. I didn't. No.
Yeah, because we didn't really have a sense of how popular or how many people were really paying attention during the pandemic. We were releasing songs, but when you're not playing shows, you don't really know, the reception really. So it was just like we were throwing it out into the void, and then all of a sudden that happened. We got nominated on Eddie as well.
Yeah,
and didn't win that.
Now, was that hey Judy, good. Thanks for stopping by. When you guys were going through, we'll go back to the pandemic again, I guess. Was it hard for you guys not to do live gigs? I mean, well,
we had stuff lined up. Like, we were supposed to do some stuff in Massachusetts, and I think we had a thing in New Jersey they wanted us to go down to, and like something up by Boston. But it came down to the fact of, you have the opportunity to do something, but no one really knew what was going to happen. And, we have, children at home, and it was like one of those things where it's like, if it's meant to be, we'll get shows down the road. It's rather be safe than sorry.
What about you, Brian? Was it rough to not play gigs, or?
So I have like terrible stage fright. So I just love creating music, and playing live for me, for most of my being in bands for the last 25 years, is if you're going to be in a band, you have to play out, because that's what everybody else is going to want to do.
Sure.
With this band, I actually enjoy it more than almost any other band I've been in. But I have that sort of introvert tendency to like hunker down in my cave and work on music. So for me, the pandemic was okay. That worked for me. But I'm looking forward to like the show coming up. I think that's going to be awesome. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's a great place up there, man. We'll definitely touch on that in a minute, but I want to talk about the album first. New album. It's called Fathom Five, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Available tomorrow. It hits tomorrow, right?
It is
on Friday the 13th. No,
of all days.
That's perfect, right? Guys, make sure you're checking your streaming platform for availability on that. When did you guys start writing this album?
From almost the beginning. Like, these are
I was going to say,
songs.
Worms was the first song that I think I came up with lyrics for, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was, because the first song we did is not on the album. It'll probably be on the second one. The first song that Pete and I put together, we have to work on that more. But this is pretty much 2017 up until 2 months ago.
Yeah.
All the songs. And we have more songs coming. We'll probably release another one later this year, maybe an EP or something.
You guys have like a pretty good backlog of stuff waiting to hit the scene. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
It's not like Prince, but
no.
So you said you recorded it at you record there, right? At your place, Brian?
Yeah. I mean, we're in a glorious time for people that wanted for DIY recording. I mean, I hear stuff coming out of studios sometimes, and I'm like, okay, how much did that cost? Like, compared to, and don't get me wrong, you're going to hear some songs where you're like, that sounds like that might be an earlier one. Cause I was learning along the way, and I've gone back and fixed things and stuff. We've been able to do everything. I use an Axe FX 3. So, I don't care what anybody says. It is so freaking close to playing a tube amp. And I had a tube amp up until last year. I sold it because there's just no noise. It always works. You can swap out cabinets. I mean, it's just,
it's lighter.
So what's that?
It's lighter as far as carrying.
Well, yeah, it would be if we didn't have that giant rack with everything else in it. But yes.
But is it a
Um,
nice rack?
Oh yeah,
Like what I did there?
what you
You
did there,
see?
yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
So the first single is called Vessels for the Afterlife. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, the lyrics basically, it's my concept, my idea was kind of like what happens when you die. Do you go to heaven? Do you not? And what, you know, each person has their own interpretation of it, not saying one is right, one is wrong.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like just the whole, there's many cultures, like Egyptians have their beliefs on things, and just kind of trying to wrap my head around the whole concept of death and the afterlife.
And what's cool about Matt's lyrics is that he'll start the concept off, and then I kind of take it for my lyrics when I sing. So
Mhm.
for this one, that's like where Matt started, and then I was thinking of like a sci-fi scenario where you've got like atheists versus um, theologians or religious people,
Sure.
and the atheists have come up with like a scientific way of surviving in the afterlife and moving on to a different dimension or realm or whatever.
Mhm.
And the religious people are against that because it goes against their core beliefs. So that's, I think, where we came from. And there's actually a TV show on HBO that has a similar sort of story to that.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it right now. But
Oh yeah, I know, with the angel, that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's a different one. It's a sci-fi one, but yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So let's talk about your songwriting process. How do you guys write your songs?
Well, Pete and I usually jam on things. I have a pretty long backlog of riffs and various things. I would say it's probably fair to say I do more of the arrangement of things, but
Okay.
Pete, of course, writes all of his drum parts usually within minutes,
yeah.
and they're brilliant.
Mhm.
So, and then we just kind of play around with how they fit together. And while we're doing that, Matt will start to write lyrics
Yeah.
and try to fit it. And then usually I write whatever lyrics I have, which isn't always on every song, but the ones I've come up with, I'll do that after Matt starts the concept off.
And then sometimes you guys will have like a title, like Mad Space. We had that title for a while, and then like the whole concept in my head for that, it's like, oh, well, maybe if like Einstein or Carl Sagan, they've done so much research and thought so much about the outer space and the universe that they just kind of crack. And that was like my little pun on like the mad space between stars.
Yeah, which is taken from H.P. Lovecraft book. It's just like a line in it. So a lot of the song titles, which are, I guess, starting points, come from books that we've read and things like that.
Yeah.
So, Chad, if you guys have any questions for either Matt or Brian or about the band Psychomanteum, you guys can type in the chat. We will ask them whatever you guys want to know. So, hello, Cass. Oh, Cassidy. I can't even stand you. Stop typing. Cut it out. How many tracks are on the album?
That is an excellent question. Is it 10?
I think so.
We only have like 2 little filler songs. There's
Let's
like
see.
an intro one, and then there's an ambient piece that I put together, like while drinking coffee one morning, that seemed to fit in between one of the songs.
1, 2,
10?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute. Matt, out of those 10, do you have a favorite?
Right now, my favorite is probably Vessels, because that's like the new baby. And I mean, I like all the other ones. My other favorite probably is Toxic Rays, because that's just to me, Toxic Rays is like that needs to be made into a movie. And I'm picturing like this whole weird video scenario when singing it. You know, it's. I mean, they're all my favorites, but those two at the moment stick out the most.
So Jessica asked, is it only digital or can you buy CDs or LPs?
There's going to be physical CDs if everything goes well for the show on the 27th, which we'll get to. So yes, there will be. We're going to have a storefront on Bandcamp at some point, probably soon. My son has to show me how to set it up.
Scary. Isn't
He's
it?
11, so and then Spotify, like all the major streaming services, if everything goes well, tomorrow they'll be available for most of them. And then our Bandcamp page as well, we'll have them posted where you can, throw us whatever you to at a certain point, a starting point, and then above if you want to, as far as the cost.
So what about you, Brian? On the new album, do you have a favorite of the 10?
I'd say the Mad Space Between Stars, because that's so challenging. It was the first song where I started singing after the other singer left. And it's just, I'm not sure how I sing and play when I'm playing, because it's really
I say that every time you do it. I'm like, I don't know how his brain can do that. I'm like, you're controlling all the magic with the foot pedal. You're doing the finger magic, and then all of a sudden, boom, you start singing. I'm like,
I know how.
How does your head not explode?
I know how he does it. He's a fucking cyborg. I told you.
Well,
I told you, man. I told you.
Him and Pete are robots.
So, okay. So listen, the CD release party, that's going to be January 27th. We just talked about the getting the physical copies of CDs. CD release party is January 27th at the Strand Theater in Hudson Falls. I got to give a shout out to my girl Steph. She is she's one of my good friends, my homie up there. So shout out to you, Steph, up at the Strand there. You guys are playing with Sin. It's a 9 Inch Nails tribute band, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
How did this show come about? How did you guys hook up with these guys? And
I had been wanting to play at the Strand. We played there like 2-3 years ago, something like that. Yep. And it was very cool that we got to play there, but it's not we're a much better, tighter band than we were back then. And, it just worked out, and just trying to find something to make it work. And tribute bands go over really well there. And I happened to just, I don't know, I think I found, saw a post somewhere, must have been on Instagram or something, for a show somewhere with a 9 Inch Nails tribute band. And I'm like, that's really cool. I'm like, you hear of Kiss and I don't know, Pink Floyd, typical bands that they do tributes for, but I've never heard of a 9 Inch Nails tribute. And I'm like, wow, see where these guys are out of. And I, just randomly sent them a message and didn't think I'd even hear anything back. I'm like, this is very cool. Sent them our stuff. And I think I copied one of the songs. And I said, would you guys ever, want to do a show together if it worked out? And they got back, and I'm like, wow. And then I'm like, I said, well, let me talk to John over to the Strand, and then kind of got the ball rolling. And he's like, well, if you can make it happen. And then, we found a date that worked for everybody, and the rest is history. And this is going to be a lot of fun.
Perfect. So what can the folks expect at this show from you guys? Do you guys have like any surprises or spoilers you want to give away?
Well, we have like Pete's into the whole 80s thing. So he has like scrims and stuff like that. We're going to have, that sort of thing going on.
Will they have the contacts?
Oh yeah, the contact. Although I don't know if he wants everybody to know that yet, but yeah, he's got contacts that like react with black lights, he's into that. Last time we played there,
Nice.
the fire alarms and the
Yes.
fire department got called because we had so much smoke that it set off the alarms, and we must have been doing okay because nobody left. So there's that.
That's good. That's real good, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be good. Matt is a hell of a showman.
Thank you.
And used to be in professional wrestling and stuff. So, he's a great front man. And then, we don't have a bass player, so I have some magic with stuff that I do that makes that happen. And it's not backing tracks.
No.
So if you guys want to see the magic from a cyborg, you just go up to the Strand on the 27th. Right. You'll be able to see it. Okay, so let's say you guys were going to do an East Coast run tour. If you guys could do that, what 2 bands would you bring with you? I'm going to start with Matt. What 2 bands would you guys bring with you for an East Coast run?
I would say these guys from Vermont called Space Cult. We played with them over the summer at Charlie O's in Montpelier, and they just blew me away. They all dressed. It was like robes. I don't know, and they had some cool masks on, and it was very like doomy Melvinsy, and it was just the whole vibe. And I think like people would love them. They would be blown away. They sound awesome.
Yeah, I'd say that would be awesome. As far as like local bands, there's so many friggin' awesome local metal bands. But like Malefic, I want to take. It's satanic death metal. It's different from us, but I think it would work. And those guys are just awesome. Valor and Violent by Design. Those 2 bands are fantastic and just great dudes. So yeah, that's probably it.
Good choices for sure. Very good choices, actually. Let's see. Jim Wortman. What's up, Jim?
Hey, Jim.
Wortman.
Hey, Jim.
Say hello. So what's next for you guys, and what's next for Psychomanteum?
World domination. No. We have a couple shows booked for the spring already. And then probably, seeing what the future brings, hopefully doing some cool shows with some cool bands over the summer.
We don't like doing winter shows that much.
Yeah.
Because the weather is unpredictable and, they get canceled or whatever. So we usually take that time to write. And there was a song that we didn't finish that we thought we would for the album. So we'll probably work on that. And but yeah, probably an EP, another release by the end of the year, I think.
All right, I'm going to ask each of you guys individually, and just another individual question, a little on the spot action, and I'll start with Brian this time. Out of your record, CD, MP3 file collection, any 3 albums that you love that you could not live without? If you could only have 3, which ones would they be?
Converge, Jane Doe is one. Opeth, Watershed.
Ooh, good one.
There's another. Completely out of the metal realm, Aphex Twin, the Richard D. James album. I still listen to that to this day, like almost weekly.
There you go. Matt, what about you, bud?
I would take the first Clutch album. I would take probably Genesis Trespass, and probably this is either Fugazi 13 songs or Black Sabbath Born Again.
All right. Good choices. I like it. I dig it. So you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this little ditty up?
This the pandemic coming out of the pandemic, it seems like bands are just like really revved up and people are coming out. And, like before the pandemic, it seemed like there was a lot more apathy about the local scene. I think there was a lot of people like, ourselves that felt like we might have been aging out, and I think after the pandemic, people started thinking like, well, with the time I have left, like I want to seize the freaking day and, do what I want to do. And if I'm 45, 50, 60, whatever, and I want to go to a death metal show, I'm going to go to a death metal show.
Yep.
And do it while I can physically.
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty optimistic.
Yeah, we did get a late question. What are some things venues do that you don't like? Not specific venues. I think she's just asking venues in general. What are some things that venues do that you dislike?
Maybe don't keep up on their end of, like, if you have I'll say a payment negotiated and you show up at said venue in Massachusetts and
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. And you, like, if they say that, it's going to be a play for the door or whatever, just follow through with what you say. Like, keep your word.
Maybe don't put like a giant orange tip bucket there instead.
Yeah. And then tell everybody, hey, when you come in, you can pay a cover, or if you don't feel like it, you can walk through. And then bands that have driven like, 4 hours, end up with, like a warm ginger ale. Sorry.
Yeah.
Boy, this sounds mighty specific. It's all hypothetical, guys. It's all hypothetical.
Oh yeah. It's a wonderful story.
All right. Well, I mean, as long as we're tapping into this little keg here, let's try this one. In your opinion, this is probably going to be bad. Fuck it, we're doing it. In your opinion, and I'll ask both of you separately. In your opinion, what is your opinion on the state of the local music scene here?
Ooh.
You want to go first?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Shit. All right.
You're more diplomatic.
So I'm just going to say this. There's turf wars sometimes in the scene a little bit. And I understand because I've been in business. You have bad relationships with somebody. Something goes south and they go off and they do another venue or whatever. I don't think it's constructive for bands to be pressured to do certain venues versus other ones, or be told don't do this venue and you can't play here, that sort of thing. I always feel like any local scene is just always on the verge of collapse, so everybody should be doing everything they can to encourage bands to play anywhere, and the politics should be kind of taken out of it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's fair. Matt?
I think there are so many amazing bands in the area that, like, from metal to, punk or whatever. And I think if a lot of bands want to work together and do different shows, but there either is a lack of venues that can make that happen, or there's a few people that promote and kind of run the scene and don't want to let new bands join the club. So it's harder or more difficult to kind of make your way in the scene and try to fit in and grow with the other bands. So I wish there would try to be more togetherness, if that.
Things can get a little cliquey still.
Yeah.
Surprising to me at this stage.
I think the fans the music fans in the area would definitely benefit, because, to go to see a show with like 4 bands that you wouldn't necessarily see together. You would bring 4 different groups of people to one venue that might not have necessarily been there
100%,
before.
absolutely.
And that's how everything gets bigger and better. It's like, wow, I saw this band. Like back in the day, Soundgarden was the opening band on a tour with Pantera and Skid Row.
Mhm.
Who the hell would ever have thought of something like that? So, I mean, that's,
And I'd love to see all of those bands right now.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Like all together. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, and it was on a national scale, but I think the oddest show that I've ever been to, and I want to say it was like the War Memorial. It was the Black Crowes, Warrant, Metallica, and Aerosmith.
Wow.
Weirdest thing but I'm like going, there was no way I was going to miss that, but it was the oddest venue I've ever been to.
Wow.
Or it was like a LSD induced trip that I was on for a day or a day or two. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was the weirdest venue. So getting back to the local scene, I mean, it's a concept that's been around for a long time. Like we used to, and Brian, you can attest to this, Matt, I'm sure you can too. You used to take a backpack with a stack of flyers, a staple gun, and extra staples, and you would hit the streets, and everything that was wood, you'd post, and that's how you promoted your band. Nowadays, it's easy because it's just click, 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 and you're posted it to as many places as people that would see those posters. Fair? So it's a lot easier these days, but the key to this is, and I'm going to give you advice, and not you guys, I'm talking about everybody in general. The bands here, I'm going to give you advice that some guy gave me in 1989, I think it was. You go to other band shows and hand out your flyers. They go to your show and hand out their flyers. That's how the scene supports itself, right? I just heard the same exact thing from the same guy 3 days ago, Mike Valenti. It's the concept that if you support your own scene, it's gonna grow bigger and bigger, right? Oh, let me see what this says. Oh, Michael A, good to see you. So Jessica says I went to a Bush, Nickelback, and Shinedown. That's a pretty stacked show.
Wow.
What do you guys think about Nickelback? They get a pretty shitty rap. What do you guys think about Nickelback?
It's definitely not my my style of music, but they're professional musicians. They're getting paid. I don't know. I mean, they're as far as the whole musical genre, there's much worse that could be listened to besides them.
Sure.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, what's the argument? Like they shouldn't exist. I mean, there's going to be shitty music. Like or in your opinion, there's always going to be some artist that you think sucks. Yeah. But you can't say like they shouldn't be doing it. It's like, just don't listen to it.
They get a bad rap. Here's why I think they get such a bad rap, because they're overplayed. Everything they do gets overplayed. And I think they're overproduced too. All their songs are so polished and refined. Excuse me. And they're not bad songs. They're great songs. These guys can play, they can write, but I think they're a little too polished. And I think people just get turned off by that. But when you sell out like Red Rocks and shit, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, plus, they at least write their own music, right? Like they don't have a team of writers like in a room and say, "Here's your song." Like so
as
at least
far
they're
as
writing.
I know,
their own stuff.
They write their own stuff. As far as I know, anyways.
Yeah. Even if I think it's bad. Like good for them anyway.
I think I would actually rather hear Nickelback than Five Finger Death Punch. I know that's going to.
I've never heard them. I'm so far I've made it along where I haven't
never heard Five Finger Death Punch.
No, not knowingly.
You're not missing much. I mean, they're great. No, you're not missing much. You're not missing
Are they
much.
like new metal or something? Like, what are they?
Fairly, I mean, they've been around a while, but they're kind of like a, I don't know. People just kind of gravitate towards. It's like a bandwagon band, you know.
It's like Godsmack's cousin.
There you go, Godsmack's cousin.
Todd Smack. Yep.
Yeah, Godsmack.
Shout out to my little midget buddy Sully. So
Is that Michael Ann Flynn from Shovelhead, by the way?
it absolutely is. Yes,
I thought so. Yes, my friend Matt Baker was in Shovelhead. I believe I've met her
Shovelhead,
before.
and now she has Mike and the Monsters, and she also does this transformation where she transforms into Vince's Neil.
Oh,
And
nice.
they do
Awesome.
it's called Livewire 518, and they do all Motley Crue songs. It's a fucking trip, man. It's a
awesome.
great show. And you know what's fucked up is that she does the Mike and the Monsters thing, and then Livewire's on the same bill sometimes. So she's doing two full sets, sometimes almost back to back. I mean, like, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And she's awesome. I love her to death. She's the best.
Maybe they can replace Vince with her and actually sound good on the tour.
I was just thinking that same thing.
Her and John 5 on guitar would be amazing.
Yep.
That's, you know, and I kind of wonder sometimes how real some of those performances are, because obviously you can dub anything into a video, but like when he's singing live, dude, he's singing like every fourth word because he's so out of breath or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I love you too. That was nice. But yeah, he's like, it's just, he's just not in shape anymore. So dude, I don't know. Look at me. I'm sitting behind a desk. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I sit behind a desk. I have a mic here, and I talk to cool people like you all day. That's what I do. You know what I mean? And it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but you know, who am I to judge? I'm not a good judge like that. You know. So
yeah, but I mean, he's getting paid, so he should be.
Yeah, I would just
able to give him something.
He's hanging out with Def Leppard every day.
That's
with Phil Collin like ripped.
I think this sums it up. Michael Ann says Vince sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he's Vince. See that? She's playing Switzerland. I love it. All right, boys. Listen, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I had a great time with you guys. You're welcome on the show anytime for sure. You guys can catch Psychomanteum at the Strand Theater in Hudson Falls, January 27th with Sin. It's a 9 Inch Nails cover tribute. Sorry, not cover. 9 Inch Nails tribute band. This is their CD release party, so you guys got to show up. Show up and represent. You can purchase the physical copies of the CDs at the show, and then you guys are going to do the Bandcamp thing you said with the merch, right?
Yep.
So,
yep. Tomorrow.
Tickets are on brown paper. What is it? Brown paper tickets and
brown paper tickets.
And check with the Strand box office.
Yeah, I think it's strandtheater.org or something like that.
Yeah, I have the link here. I'll read it in 1 second. And so, CD release party for the newest album. The newest album is full Fathom 5. Check it out, guys. You're not going to be disappointed. Check all your streaming platforms for availability. It hits the streets tomorrow, so you guys will have no problem finding it. And definitely Bandcamp. Don't forget Bandcamp Fridays, guys. First Friday of every month, the artists get 100% of the profits. Now, for more info, you can check out facebook.com/Psychomanteum518. Psychomanteum518 at bandcamp.com, also brownpapertickets.com and mystrandtheater.org for tickets to the show. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see you guys again. And good luck with this. Good luck with the album, man. It's going to be listen, people are not going to be disappointed. It kicks ass. I love the new single. I can't wait to hear more of it tomorrow. And go kick ass at the show. All
right, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No problem. And we'll see you soon. Psychomanteum. Awesome. Brian, Matt, thank you. There they go. Psycho, just like that. Poof, they're going. Now I'm all alone again. Sad. Oh, wait. No, I'm not alone because I have none other than Kevin Stone pictures still hanging out. So he sits right next to me. He's over here chilling out and hanging. So make sure you guys are going up January 27th. You guys got to hit this show, man. Listen, I might even have to make an appearance up there. These guys are good, so make sure you go check them out. And I think that is about a wrap for the show, boys and girls. Don't have any more to cover, except we'll go over one more time our list of, where the hell did I go? There it is. So we're going to go over our list of stuff. Make sure you guys are checking out our sponsors, Helderberg Meadworks. Sorry about that. Kings Inn, January 20th, 6 to 9 p.m. The Tradition will be playing. Nick Stamos is sitting in on this one. It's going to be a great show. And I will also be the guest bartender, me and Cassidy. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. I do rock. And you know what? There's panties to prove that. We all know this, right? Oh, that's right, Jess. I forgot you were from up there. Yeah, maybe we'll have to get together and make it. I'll make it David or something. Make sure you guys come out to the Kings and check out the Tradition. Also, guest bartender. Hey, Nadine, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. And what else do we got, guys? Oh, I know what I forgot. Episode number 2, Roving Culture, featuring Mike Valeni and. Why do I always forget his name? My God, Ray Mazzola. Jesus, I always get stuck on that. Featuring Mike Valeni and Ray Mazzola. It is episode number 2. It is on the 18th. It's Wednesday, January 18th. We're going to be airing that one. You do not miss this one. Holy shit, this one's good. The first one was good. Don't get me wrong. The first one was good. This one's and they're going to keep. I think they're going to keep getting better. I think Mike just wants to keep outdoing himself. This one's good. It's I'll give you a little hint. And I don't normally do this, so you guys are lucky. I'm in a good mood tonight. I'm going to give you a little hint. Think about. I can't come up with a good hint. Josh Mosh. Think about Josh Mosh. Think about Mike, Ray, and Josh Mosh sitting around talking. Wonder what that's going to be. You're going to have to stop in on the 18th and find out. Roving Culture, episode 2 with Josh Mosh. It is a killer episode. I've seen it like 4 times now. I have to edit it, so I see it. Oh, I see it, and I just can't stop. It's just that's so great. So make sure you check it out on the 18th of January. Roving Culture, Mike Valeni and Ray Mazzola, of course, sponsored by Smooth Truth. Jesus Christ. Smooth Truth Whiskey. That's a tough one to get out. Holy Jesus. Tongue twister. Yeah. Great show. You guys, you're not going to be disappointed. Guaranteed your money back. How's that sound? Not even any money. So no, you're not getting any money. All right, guys, that's it for this week. I appreciate all you guys as always. Make sure you're checking out the website, thatfuzzandrockshow.com, 24/7. You can go there anytime you want. Find your fuzz. That's going to link you to all the stuff. Facebook.com/thatfuzzandrockshow. Make sure you follow us. Drop a like on the video. Make sure you tell a friend. YouTube.com/thatfuzzandrockshow. Ring the bell. Subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you a dime. Easy enough. Just click. That's all you got to do. Instagram and TikTok are both at That Fuzzing Rock Show. We do little shorts and cool videos there. So make sure you're checking us out there. And that's it for me. I'm out. Another week, how are we going to end this week, though? How do we end this week, guys? Do you guys got any requests on how we end the week this week? Or you want me to just pick one? Because you guys know which one I'm going to pick. Oh, I could go really dark, but maybe I won't. You know what? I'm going to go really dark. Sorry, guys. Listen, I aim to offend, so here you go.
Yo, baby, you have your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
Yeah. Good evening.
Just put 'em down.
Get the fuck out of here.